They used the police squad to kind of try to intimidate me. They used spirituality to try to scare me off. Then finally, I ended up in court. And it's quite fascinating how this case is actually still in court. Let me dive into it and give you guys all the details up to now. So in 2021, I identified a property, and the property was an existing car wash. It was in operation, but the state of the car wash was not the best. I approached the owners, and luckily enough, they've been looking for a buyer for a long time. But because of the amount of money that they wanted, it's been hard for somebody to have that lump sum to pay. After talking to the owners, we agreed on a price, and I decided to pay them in 2 different installments. I was to pay them half, and then a month later, I'm going to pay them the other half, and then they have to move out immediately. So they were still operating this car wash. They have 2 buildings on the property. They have a building where they sleep in. That building is like 2 rooms, one for the wife and the owner of the property, and then the other side was for the people who were washing their cars, right? They sleep there. And then there was a container where there was a shed for people who are washing their cars to stay in. So when I was buying a property, I was buying not just the land, but everything involved. That means, the pressurized washing machine for the cars, the poly tank, there's a borehole on the property. Everything involved was all included in this price. So I was actually buying a business with the land. I can buy the workers, but I was going to use the workers as well to start. So the owner and I had this, synergy going on. They were good people, but of course, I asked for the title. For a land like that, you don't want to touch it without a title. So they had a title. I did a search on the title. It was clean. And I brought my lawyer on board to do the indenture and stuff. And we made the initial payment of 50% around November 2021. And then December 23rd, I made the last 50%. And then they were to move out on the 1st of January. They even wrote a note to the customers that they're going to do renovations. So we're going to close down for some time. I immediately came in and did a hoarding. Put a green sheet around the land when you're about to do big construction. You usually do that to block people off from interfering with your materials or looking too inside your property as to what's going on. So I did that, and these owners also had an existing building that they had started, right? And it's supposed to go up 2 levels. So I was buying this land plus the buildings on top of it. And we had to do a structural integrity test on the building. To do a structural integrity test means you're trying to see if the building can go up 2 or 3 levels or whatever it is. If it's a single level, it's fine. But the project that I wanted to do, which is this mini mall that you could see on the screen, it was going up 3 levels. And I wanted to kind of use a portion of this existing building. But before we do that, my architect and my business partner advised me that we do this structural integrity test. And when we did it, it failed. So we decided to demolish it. And on the back of the building, there was no existing wall. So I wanted to block the back as well because I've just covered the front with the sheets, the hoarding, and the back is still open. So I had to block it. The size of the building had been, built. There's walls on there. My neighbor had a wall and the other neighbor had a wall. So I just had to build it back. The front has to be open because it's a commercial property. So I demolished this existing building to put a wall in the back. While I was demolishing this existing building, that's when I encountered my first issue, right? Like early January, I encountered my first issue. Mind you, the owners of this property have been living there for 20 years, okay? They have built a business, 2 businesses actually. They started with a restaurant, and then the restaurant closed down at some point, and then they started operating this car wash. My neighbor to my left, if you're facing the road, bought a land from these people as well. So it's quite bizarre for somebody to come and try to claim a land that somebody has been living on for 20 years, had a title on it, transferred it to me. Like, why? So the guy sent the local police to come and stop the work, right? I didn't know who this person was, but this is my first encounter. The local police came to stop the work, told my workers that there's an issue on this land, why they work and blah, blah, blah. So I called the previous owners, the people that I bought the land, to go and address this issue. At this point, I had initiated my title transfer. So they had a title already. I had to transfer the title to my name. I had initiated it. I have an indenture that shows that I bought the land, but having a title is more powerful. So I didn't want to go back and just deal with indenture. So I told them to go ahead and deal with the situation. But it was fresh. It was like a week, 2 weeks of them moving out. I'm encountering this issue. So they went to the police station, spent some time, blah, blah, blah. And according to them, the situation was sorted out. It was is a family member, not like family, but that's what the guy does. I didn't know, they didn't tell me anything about his history as far as like this guy being a problem in the neighborhood. Of course, if they would have told me that, I was still going to buy the land because it's very valuable. That's why I'm still going through this. I know a lot of people are wondering, where are the people who sold the land to you? And I'm going to get to all of that, so be patient. When this happened, I went ahead and finished the demolition. The police didn't come. It was like 2-3 days work, so it didn't really matter. I built the one in the back. Nobody came there. There's a hoarding. So I guess I thought the situation was like sorted out. That January, I went to visit my wife in New York for about 3 weeks. And while I was there, I had this epiphany to, because of the situation that just happened, I wanted to build this mini mall. Things were quite good in the market, and I had the money to do it myself. So the whole thing. But unfortunately, the market started going down like crazy in 2021, right? So I started losing a lot of money in the market. And me being able to build this entire structure was no longer, an option for me. So I decided to renovate the car wash and then get the money going, get some nice cash flow that could help with things and try to source out all the stuff that I'm doing on the side and, put money together and try to, get the ball rolling, at least do the foundation, start the ball rolling. And I have people who are trying to invest in it. So this was the idea. So when I came back, now I have to work on the land because now I'm trying to renovate the car wash. And as I started with the renovation, that's where all these issues came in. So the guy had done his homework. He knew who I was, lived in the States, young guy, driving a nice car, and he just smelled meat. He just smelled somebody that he can frustrate. He just smelled somebody that he can try his hardest to milk, and he wasn't gonna go easy on me. My first encounter was when I decided to move the hoarding in the front to the back to expose the car wash because now I have changed the plan. Instead of going into the minimal construction right away and pausing the car wash until it's done, I decided to move it back and start a car wash. Then I'm going to construct the minimal around it because the car wash is on the other side. It doesn't really affect the construction. When I was moving the hoarding back, in the process of moving it back, you could see that there is work ongoing on the site. This guy who is, trying to extort money from me came in to warn my carpenter to stop work. He just came in like, stop work. And my carpenter really is a big, strong guy, so didn't really get threatened by this guy. He continued with his work. When I came on the site, he told me what had happened. That a guy came in here telling him to stop work, it's his land, blah, blah, blah. But he was still working. So I'm like, what's going on? While I was there, I think the guy have people around watching what's going on. He's been doing this for a long time, by the way, as I came to find out later on. I'm not the first person this guy has taken to court. That's what he does for a living. And a country like this where people can survive from just making people's life miserable and hard and kind of like making investors run away, because if I didn't have this strong personality and heart to stand up to the BS and the threats, I would have been gone already, right? And it's just such a shame that somebody like that can openly go to a court over and over again, and he has this right. As you guys will come to find out how bizarre it is. So stay with me here. So this guy came in, and while I was there, he received a phone call from one of his boys walking around. I don't know who those people are, but he came. He came with his car, and he came and said, stop work. By then, he had some people with him that will protect him in case, anybody's trying to do anything to him. And basically said the land is his. If I want it, I have to buy it from him. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? But me being a reasonable person, I wanted to see where he's coming from. I mean, for you to have that kind of balls to come in here and claim that this is your land, you must have a reason. So let's go and check it out. Let me see what you're talking about. So I followed him, and he took me to his mom's house. His mom lives around the area. And, he didn't really tell me that he was kind of related, kind of like a cousin to the lady that showed me the land. But this is not family land. This land belonged to the lady, right? It belonged to the lady. They had registered it. So all this while, you guys would be asking me, where were the original owners? And if you have an issue with somebody selling a land that doesn't belong to them, why are you harassing me? Why don't you go to the person who sold the land if you truly have a case, right? So that was what a lot of people are asking me. So at this point, I'm aware of what's going on. My neighbors went through the same thing with this guy. When they started building, this guy came in claiming the land, blah, 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 blah. But the guy did not go as far. As I came to realize later on, he comes to test the waters and he uses the local police, bribes them, uses them to harass people, and most people get scared and give him something, right? That's what he does. And my situation, I wasn't scared. I was armed. I have lawyers. I'm not scared of, guns. I know you're not gonna shoot me. You're not. I haven't done anything wrong. So I was standing up to these guys. And I'm gonna get into that later. I was at war with both the police and this guy, right? So we went in there, we sat down. This guy brought his mom, who's kind of old, trying to kind of sell a picture. That's what he's been doing for a long time. Trust me, as I came to find out, this is what this guy does for a living. Brought the mom in the picture, telling me that the land doesn't belong to the people who sold it to me, it belongs to this family. He showed me a huge judgment. It's about 78 pages. I told him to give me a copy. He refused. I took a picture of the front to see the plaintiff and the defendant. Then I went to the appeals court and picked it up because it was from the appeals court. Picked it up with my uncle, went through it with my lawyer, went through myself, read 78 pages, over the weekend. And I'm like, this guy got nothing. Before this, I haven't done a composite plan. A composite plan is, okay, so you have a judgment, right? The family has a judgment of about 183 acres. Cool. Though in the judgment, it says that the people who own the land before the judgment, they own the land. There's nothing you could do. You have to take those people individually to court and then fight them for your land. So he would have had to go and fight this lady if the land was part of that 183 to expunge her title that he didn't do. And I came to find out that even the case is still in court actually. He lost at the High Court, it went to appeal, he won, and it's at Supreme Court. So the case is not even over. This judgment that he's holding is still in court, so he hasn't won yet. Okay, that's what he's holding. And my land is outside. When you do a composite plan, it's like somebody living on this block and it's like 4 or 5 houses. That's when your land starts from, and you're trying to claim my land. So on paper, you actually have nothing but lies, as I came to find out later. However, this guy has been doing this for a while, feeding the police pocket. So he used the local police. The police came to stop the work again while I was renovating the car wash, and I was at war with them, right? I took my title and stuff. By then, I had my title. I had transferred the title to my name, went to the police station, showed them all this stuff, but they already know what's going on. They know what this guy does for a living. I wasn't aware of it, as I came to realize later. They just keep saying the case is in court, this land is in court, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Show me the court documents. This guy showed me he got a judgment. It had nothing to do with me. I got a title. What are you talking about? I'm not going to stop work. I know my rights. The only thing that's going to stop my work is a court. A court order is going to stop my work. Other than that, not the police, nobody out here can stop my work, right? I'm not using threat on anybody. I'm a legit owner of this land. I'm holding a title to it. And the people who sold me this land are not dead. They are around. But the funny thing is, you guys keep asking me this. Whenever the guy who's harassing me has never seen the owners. He's always hiding from them, okay? And we can't sit to talk because he's moving with the police, and then he was threatening me that if I step on the land, like some spirituality stuff, I would die. And this guy claims to be a reverend. Can you believe that? Anyways, he took him to the police station, wasted my whole day. I didn't stop the work. My workers were still working. And then we came back. We came back on site, and then this guy asked the police commander to bring the squad. So they brought a whole squad team with big guns, AK-47s, all that stuff. Like, I would be intimidated. And I was telling all of them to get close to me. I told them I'll have all of them investigated, right? All of them. And they backed off. They saw that I wasn't scared of the guns, and I wasn't shook, right? So that didn't work. That didn't work. And then I used my lawyer to write a letter to the police to explain the situation if they haven't read the judgment, which I know they haven't. They don't care. This guy has been using this tactic for years. It's what he does for a living, actually. Some people give in and give him money. So I wrote a letter to the police to let them know that what they are doing is wrong. This guy doesn't have the right to come to this land. I bought the land. I have a title. And this judgment that this guy is carrying around has nothing to do with me owning the land. So he has nothing. If he has a case, you should take him to court. And I left it as that, and I took the guy up to the headquarters at the police station because the local police obviously is on his side and they're not doing the proper work. So I took the guy to the headquarters, and they called the guy. He never showed up. So he's a wanted man, and he didn't come on the land again. And I was freely working. The police backed off. As a matter of fact, when I came back to the work, I took a break for 1 week to fight this, took him to the headquarters to fight him, and then write a letter to the police station that I'll have all of them investigated because what they're doing is wrong. And then that was it. That was the end of it. Never saw the guy again. The police didn't come in there again. I mean, when I was working, they drove past, and one of the police called me like, hey, how is it going? Blah, blah, blah. But I know they see me, and they were probably trying to come and harass me, and maybe the commander told them to stop. This is serious. So they didn't come there. So I had defeated this guy. He had tried spirituality, didn't work. He tried to fight me too. He tried to like kind of get me to punch him or something. Like he wanted some reaction out of me. So he came in, tried a whole bunch of stuff, but I was really calm waiting for him to do something so I can knock him out. And nothing happened there. Nothing happened there. That's the day that the police was there, right, to back him up. Nothing, violent happened there. The guy just completely vanished. I didn't see the guy around. I finished all my work, including the day that I was installing my cameras. Right, I was installing my cameras on a Thursday. I was about to start work on Monday. I got the uniform for the guys. I painted the whole place. I got the gravels. I got the renovation done. The place is looking clean. People are ready to come and wash their cars. And then I got a call from one of my guys that somebody came there looking for me. And I'm wondering who can this possibly be? So, the guy who's harassing me never showed his face, right? So when I went there to see them, whatever, make some payments, to the people, working there, making payments here and there, I was coming home. And while I was coming home, I saw a car following me. I mean, cars are behind me all the time, but that day, for whatever reason, I just knew that this car was following me. So a car was following me around maybe 4:30 p.m. And I made I think like about 2 minutes before I get to my house, I made a U-turn. And then the car made a U-turn. So I'm like, okay, this car is following me. So I was driving for about 40 minutes. This car was following me. So when I was turning, I looked in the car and I saw the guy. I saw the guy who has been harassing me with other people in the car. So I didn't know what was about to transpire. I didn't know what he had planned, right? He had tried a whole bunch of stuff. So it could be, he got some hitman. I don't know, and I wasn't going to risk that. So I just drove off straight to Accra. He went to Tema. And then that was it. So I, of course, took him to the police headquarters once again. And the police headquarters told me they're going to make sure that the local police do what they're supposed to do. So I should report it to the local police. I can't just always get up and come straight to the headquarters. Previous situation was different. So I should report it to them and then they will take it up. So I reported him to the local police. And the funny thing is, the guy admitted that yes, he was indeed the one following me. And he was following me because he was with the bailiff trying to serve me the court papers. And I'm like, this is such a turn of twist. Who in their right mind would take somebody with a title? What are you thinking? Like somebody with a title, somebody that's lived on the land for 20 years, even if they didn't have the paperwork. As I made a video about this not long ago. If somebody stays on the land for just 12 years, you have a problem. These people who stayed on the land, lived there, was given to them, have a title, have a business, have buildings, and you are trying to claim this now. How? So I came to realize that this guy whole goal was to delay my work. He's trying to get an injunction. And to get an injunction, they don't really go into the merits of the case. They don't go into details to get an injunction. You just got to provide this, 78 pages to the court that he owns the land, it's big, 183 acres. They have to investigate it, blah, blah, blah. And because of that land on paper, he can pay me for any damages, blah, blah, blah. He said a whole bunch of stuff. And me having a title, me having a business that's about to operate, I think this guy was not going to get an injunction. It doesn't make sense. However, the judge awarded this guy the injunction. And I was very puzzled by that, to be honest with you. But an injunction is discretionary, which means a judge uses her own judgment to give the injunction. There is no black and white answer to it. They got to use their common sense. That day was really like, wow, this judge really used her discretionary. I mean, she might have a legitimate reasons, like, maybe the guy has a lot of land based on what it looks like. It doesn't even belong to him. Let me just clarify this. The land is family land, so he's actually the power of attorney, basically, and that's the power that he has. He's not a plaintiff. He's standing in for the plaintiff, apparently. And so the guy finally got an injunction as he wanted. Now he knows he has stopped my work. I've put a lot of money into this project, buying the land, renovating it. I'm ready to work, and he knew that. So all he ever wanted was to delay the process, to frustrate me to the point where I might come and see him and settle him. That's his whole goal. I don't think this guy ever had any inclination that I will actually be patient and wait, because it's been a year and a half now in court. Stop my cash flow completely. And as part of our county suit, this guy is to owe me all the money that I'm losing out while I'm in court and not working, plus damages, plus the stress, plus lawyer fees and all that stuff. So the bill is going to be hefty when this is all said and done. And we've made significant progress over time. They've delayed the process. They've stretched out stuff. They've waited last minute to do stuff. They've made excuses to get court dates postponed. In Ghana, the court system is very slow. So when somebody, say, oh, my Lord, I'm sorry, we just received this, I forgot this, blah. They've been so lenient towards these guys, and they've been able to delay the process for all this while. Because this case to me is really simply black and white and a common sense situation. But unfortunately, that's where we are now. When the case is over, I'm actually going to tell you guys the details, right? But as it stands now, things are looking very good, and not for me and not too good for him. And it's a matter of how soon can they wrap this up for me. Like, as far as me ever losing the land has never crossed my line, it's impossible. No amount of corruption can help you win that land. It's not going to happen. And to let you guys know, there is appeal court and Supreme Court, right? So these judges, they can help you by delaying. They can help you by using discretionary stuff, but certain stuff like winning the land for you is black and white, and they can't help you. They can't put their careers in jeopardy, even if they wanted to. So I'm not losing sleep over it. The court system actually works here in a way. Like I said, somebody's trying to help you, they will help you with delaying the process. But to help you win something that's so black and white, I don't see that happening. So, fingers crossed and hoping that they, speed up the process and then get this over with, right? And yeah, I just went to court about 2 days ago. Today is the 25th of October. On the 23rd, I was in court. And my next court day is on the 14th of November. And I'm hoping that by the end of this year, to maybe January, February latest, this case should be over. Because once it gets to July, Ghana goes on that long 3 months break. I've experienced 6 months of those. In my case, they were actually on break. My case was on hold, which I think is very stupid, I think. So why the hell would you take 3 months off from court, right? And the history behind that is when the British established the court system rulings in Ghana, our colonial masters, they used those 3 months to go and see their wives in UK. And Ghanaians are still practicing that to this day, right? Despite all the delays, this case would have been over. But I think it's because of that 3 months stupid break from July to October. My hope is that this case gets wrapped up, December, January, February. But I'm not losing sleep over this. It's too black and white. No matter what, I'm going to have my land back at the end of the day. It's not easy for somebody to overthrow your title. You have to have really strong evidence that that person actually acquired a title illegally. That's number one. And my land is not even part of whatever he's holding. So there's nothing to talk about, honestly. This is why I got sued in Ghana. I'm in court defending my land, and a young Ghanaian guy who came back home trying to do something to help the youth. And to make the matters worse, I had about 15 people that I was about to employ for this car wash, and many more people in the mini mall. And this guy's selfish needs put a hold to all of that. Most of those guys are unemployed. Some of them found jobs around the neighborhood to, do other stuff. It's crazy. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, kindly do so. Like this video as it helps with the algorithm. Comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Peace.